It is June 8th, 2024. It is 7:29 a.m. And I haven't really done an audio log for almost 3 weeks now. 2 weeks. Not because I didn't want to, because I just got really busy really fast. Like incredibly busy. Busy to the point that I haven't done a single thing in any of my other channel because I just got so busy. This working thing is so overrated. That's an alarm clock telling me that it's time to go to work. So yeah, yeah. Even the book bookmark podcast. We haven't recorded in 3 weeks as well too because my partner Derek, my co-host, went on vacation, and on top of that too, I just got busy as well. So I haven't really done anything that's considered, you know, worthy of content, right? And and I also realized that I've been constantly setting up my recording equipment to audio recording equipment constantly every time I do any recording. So I ending up using the built-in microphone on my recorder to record anything that's going to be, worth it. Not worth it, but recording wise, just to speed up the process and all that good stuff. So hopefully, I hope I can do a good stretch of just recording. I also what I've been doing as well too is I'm actually been journaling as well too, journaling outside the audio log itself because a lot of things happened this year, so I just need to write everything down. Plus, I've been into travel journal style writing for the past like 3 4 months now. So I ended up getting a travel journal and how people are doing their journaling, everything from like schedule style journaling to like there's so many types of journaling. It just baffles me. I can't believe they actually have so much category. So what I did is I ended up doing like a hybrid between journaling and and captain's log, like boat logs, because I like the concept of like where I am right now. I want to record the date, time, the weather, what city I am in, if I'm traveling, where point A to point B. If I'm staying in one spot, I want to record the time and date and the weather, because it's actually pretty neat doing that way too. Or any short log or short information that I want to put in it. So it's pretty interesting how they're doing it. I do like that concept, so I'm looking at even expanding that whole thing to Captain's Log to like having daytime weather comments throughout the day itself, just to give a little bit more sort of like a real captain's like a boat log style feel to it. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm doing a lot of experimenting how I'm planning to do this, but I might go that route because it's just to make it easier for me to say, hey, this is a log. This is a captain's log. This is what I did this day, right? So I don't know. I have a couple of scrap notebooks that I've been testing it with and see if this is gonna work out well. Um, yeah, so again, this is just an experiment. I like jotting my journal in, but in the same time, it's a very daunting, very long process of doing it. I'd rather do it like day by day, hour by hour, or a few hours at a time, because it just gives it a little bit more um, like a log, like a proper captain's log. I always love that idea of just writing stuff down, right? So let's see how this experiment works. But yeah, no, I did buy a very good Midori notebook, an A5 one, A5 size. So I'm saving that until I actually figure out what I'm planning to do and go from there. Yeah. I'm going to eat breakfast now. Oh, by the way, I actually stopped drinking coffee as well too. It's been 2 weeks now, and I realized that I don't miss the caffeine, but I miss the taste and the process of making the coffee, and just putting it together is the thing that I really miss. That's what I miss. It is 7:55 a.m. and my coffee's done. Coffee's been brewed, pour in a mug, and I changed the recipes because remember, like I mentioned before, I did stop drinking coffee for almost 2 weeks now, and I decided to change the recipe to 2 cups for 10 to 12 ounces of water, and the taste is not as strong like I normally drink it because I love the stronger taste of coffee. And this one was a little, I don't want to say weak, but it's very different. It doesn't have the same oomph that I'm looking for. So um, I'm gonna finish off the bag that I have now. That should last me about a week, less than a week. And I'm gonna switch to full decaf coffee from Kicking Horse, a coffee brand that I always get. They're from BC, not sponsored. I wish, but it's a it's a nice taste. The one I normally drink is a very mild coffee, but I'm hoping that the decaf is mild as well too, so I can put a bit more coffee. Like I can go back to 3 cups for 10 to 12 ounce of water. I can get the taste of it without the caffeine. I think for me, is the to get rid of the caffeine part is the key. For me to try this out, will be good because it's I miss the taste of it. That was the biggest issue I have. But if I do end up going to the shop today, then I'll get my coffee. Then I'll switch early. But I've been having cravings for drinking the taste of coffee for a while now, for 2 weeks. So me lowering down the how many cups that I put in actually will help a bit to just cut the just have the taste, but not as a stronger caffeine to it. I'm hoping that it will help because I've been exhausted. Like I've been so tired. Um, I just been so tired that I couldn't really concentrate too much. I've been taking naps throughout the day. I've been like really drowsy and exhausted. So I know it's part of the withdrawal symptoms of drinking coffee, but I do miss the taste of it. So it's kind of funny that people don't like the taste of coffee, and but they love the caffeine. Some people love the taste of it, but they don't mind about not having the caffeine. So I'm sort of the latter part of I love the taste of coffee, but I don't want the caffeine. So that's why I'm just changing the recipes until I get back to the shop and grab something. Hopefully, I can do that today. If I can do that today, that'll be even better. I can actually have decaf tomorrow. Start my adventures of having decaf, but let's see how this is gonna work out. The taste is not bad. Again, it feels like I'm drinking coffee from like a restaurant or from a diner, not as strong. So I kind of like, it is what it is. Now I know, lessons learned. So I'm hoping to get out of the house today between during lunchtime just to get some coffee because working at home, the only thing that's gonna be consistent is coffee. So, yeah. So let's see how this works out. I'll let you guys know how I feel after. It is 9:04 a.m. and yeah, it's been an hour and a half since I started drinking coffee, and let's just say I'm wide awake. That's good, but at the same time, I'm kind of like my heart rate is actually increased, and yeah, the 2 cups to 10 to 12 ounces of water is perfect. The taste is still kind of like, oh, I prefer stronger coffee, so I'm definitely gonna go head out for lunch and head out to grab some decaf from uh, from Kicking Horse to see if it's gonna be the same thing. Um, yeah, it's as I okay. It's actually official. I do miss the taste of coffee with my recipe. Okay, because it's strong. I don't miss the caffeine part. So I'm definitely going to to I'm definitely going to get definitely decaf for sure. Um, because I, to be honest with you, I don't mind not having the caffeine. So let's see how that feels. I'm gonna get a bag today. Hopefully, I can get out today if I can. If not, then it's gonna be tomorrow for sure. So yeah, it's a weird feeling. Uh, Again, I haven't had coffee in 2 weeks, so it's a different. Yeah, it took me a while to get rid of the caffeine out of my system, but I think at this point I don't miss the caffeine part. I miss the taste. So experiment done. Definitely not gonna have coffee again until I get my decaf. Yeah, yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen next. But so far, work wise, it's not bad. But I will keep chugging along here. People are asking for help if I have some room, so I'm gonna message people to let them know that I have room in my schedule if they want to forward me some work, to give them a hand or transfer some projects to me, so I can just ease up some workload to some people. So we'll just go from there. It is 10:45 a.m. and it is incredibly hot today. It is, and I quote from my app from the Weather Network, it is a high of it's a high of 30 degrees and a low of 20 degrees this evening Celsius, and currently 24 degrees. But if you don't live in Ontario, Canada, southern Ontario, 24 doesn't mean anything. As soon as you go underneath the sun, you will feel the 30 degrees pretty fast. So my wifey is actually, because I think I mentioned several times, she is a environmental field technician engineer, so she's actually outside right now. And before she left, she ended up filling up her, I think it was a 2 liter Yeti container. So she's been drinking that plus her other Yeti all day. So typically she goes back to go to a store or something, or if she can find a water fountain, she dumps another 2 liters and she drinks that again before lunchtime. So that's how warm it is outside right now, and it's just crazy how warm it is. I'm at my home office. The air condition is cranked. I think it's set for about 24 degrees, 20 degrees, and my air condition hasn't stopped running since the weekend. That's how warm it is outside. And yeah, so if you're outside, stay cool, man. It's a you can feel the heat. That's how hot it is. Like my window uh faces east, southeast, and I feel the sun in the morning, so I put down the shade, right? But by the time the afternoon hits, the sun is just not facing our side of the building, so it's nice and cool. So I'm pretty happy about that. But between, let's say, 8 o'clock in the morning till roughly about now, about 10:47, it is blazingly hot. Sometimes I end up working in the kitchen because I don't get the direct sun. That's how hot it is. And now the sun is gone, not facing us anymore. It's actually cooling down a bit. So because I have two fur babies and I have two cats, they're constantly hiding somewhere warm, somewhere cool, just to cool down a bit. So yeah, it's just unbearably hot. So yeah, it's just weird the feeling of like, not a weird feeling, but it's just muggy. You know what I mean? It's I don't want to say sticky, but it's just muggy. So yeah, and they did report that it is going to be this kind of weather for the next, let's say for the next, they said the next 2 days, but I have this feeling that it's going to be longer than that. And yeah, just stay cool as much as possible. It is 4:49 p.m. and I've been standing up all day. I've been literally standing up all day working because I stand up when I work. I mean, I have a stand-up desk, so I don't like sitting on my chair longer than half an hour. I get I get restless. Like I literally gets restless. So I just raise it up. I just ending up working. Like for example, I work roughly about 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours a day. About 80% of that I'm actually standing up. The only time I sit down is when I turn on the computer for the first morning, checking my email, just browsing the email, and having lunch. The rest of the time, I'm actually standing up. Even meetings, conference calls, just phone calls itself, I'm actually standing up. I don't sit down too often when I do that. When I do sit down, it's usually just taking a break from standing up. So it's just a very weird way I'm actually doing this. I think that's the best way to describe it. But no, I prefer standing up when I work. So yeah, it's kind of funny though because this coffee thing, I'm still kind of trying to figure this out because it's the first time I'm actually quitting coffee, and this is the longest time I actually don't have coffee since this morning, and having no coffee for the past 2 weeks was great. I realized I was a little testy. I'm a little bit more aggressive now on the call because I just don't have caffeine, but that's fine. But I'm really not feeling it as much anymore. So I'm just feeding the cats before I'm actually gonna head out and do a little bit of grocery shopping for tonight and for dinner tonight. And at the same time, I'm gonna grab some decaf from if I can get some decaf from Kicking Horse because their decaf is apparently supposed to be very very good. So I'm gonna try that out. They do have something called half and half, so half decaf, half regular. But I think the goal is just to go cold turkey and just have the taste instead of have the taste of coffee, but not have the caffeine, right? Because I realized this morning that for me having a cup of coffee in my hand and just drinking from it is actually very nice. It's like incredibly nice. It's so nice to just to hold something, just taking a sip from coffee, and just don't want the caffeine part. But yeah, so that's I'm hoping to find one today. Um, I know there's a couple of shops about 5-10 minute drive does have them, so I'm hoping they'll have it there because sometimes they're very hard to find. Actually, yeah, I really don't want to order it online because I do want to have a hot beverage in my hands tomorrow morning. So yeah, it is still pretty hot outside. We did reach the high of 30 today, and it's you can feel it. I'm just glad that the air conditioning is working properly. I feel bad for people who doesn't have it, especially the wifey is actually outside all day today. So I'm hoping that she had time to take a break and stay under the shade for a bit and get some relief from the sun and drink a lot of water. So yeah, yeah. Oh, by the way, it's nice just to record audio logs again. Oh, speaking of audio logs, speaking of logs, the journal thing, travel journal thing I was mentioning earlier. I am planning to do what I was planning to do, just the captain's log thing, because I actually set it up. I did a test writing because I have spare books. I used spare books that I've been using to for just journal notes, but it's the same size, the A5 ones. So I did some testing and it's actually worked pretty well. So um, I'm going to do a log starting tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to start doing that and see actually how that works out, because I really like that feel of like just jotting down point form of my note of my journal instead of doing paragraphs upon paragraphs upon paragraphs of things. So I'd rather just do one shot of just like bullet journaling, but I'm doing it my way rather than the standard way of bullet journaling. It's very complicated, so I'm just gonna do just my own point form journaling. I normally do that before I go to bed or first thing tomorrow, or first thing in the morning to jot down what happened last night. But I'm pretty good about just keeping that separately. So yeah, having like a captain's log style feel to it. Every time I jot down something, it doesn't have to be. It can be just in that moment itself, or it can be just a reflection of the day, for example. At least it's a little bit more flexible rather than doing paragraphs upon paragraphs, and the thought sort of changes a bit because again, if you're writing, you have a tendency to have it sort of like have a flow, right? But journaling for me is just it's just thoughts and doesn't have to be telling a story. Just have thoughts that I just want to write down and just keep going, right? So yeah, and oh, and yeah, the stuff that I write down in my journal will not does not mean translating into my logs throughout the that you guys can hear. This is more like of like a day in life. It's like a vlogging style, but none of the personal stuff that gets boring, right? So yeah, so that's what's going on. To be honest with you, I've been loving journaling itself because some people are doing they just take Instax printers, and they just if they end up taking photos of the day, for example, they just print it out and put it in part of the journal. And I've been slowly doing that, and it's sort of like again, it's great because it has a great reflections. You're just reflecting what happened during the day, right? So I'm still on the fence of getting one because right now I do have a Canon printer, photo printer, the small ones. They're great, but the only problem is you have to keep plugging it in to make it work. And the Instax Instax photo printer, the one that takes the Polaroid version of the Instax, the Polaroid version for Fuji, is small and compact, and I can just put that in my bag. And when I travel, at least I can journal and put it in there and all that good stuff. So I kind of like that, and yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny that my wife did ask me do I start journaling, and it's kind of I started doing it when my mom passed away. I started doing it more and more in conjunction with the with this uh, with this podcast, this audio log. There's things that I do want to talk about, but I don't want to put it in the public side because it's very intimate, right? And and I'm not ready to release that in public because it's very intimate emotions that I don't want to share, right? Share with the family, but not with the public, right? And at the same time, it's a great therapy thing that that the journaling is doing. It's great to just talk about it, right? And if you don't want to talk about it, at least you have um, this medium that you can just write down things and just look at it as, in the perspective of like what's happening, right? So yeah, that's for me. That's journaling. When I travel, it's going to be the same thing. The captain's log that I got from the internet regarding ship captain's log thing, a proper ship's log. I took aspect of that and put it in a journal style, and I do like it. It gives a snapshot of exactly what's happening that day instead of just thoughts, right? So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah. Okay. Talk to you guys later.